everyone, and welcome back. We just finished painting this yummy spread here, and I kind of want to do something here on this page that's very similar, that will just let things blend in. So I've actually kept all the paints out on my desk. I've let this dry for 2 days now. It's been a couple days since I've been up here to do this. But what I really loved about it is the marks that I let shine through from underneath. So there's a couple of those. So you can kind of see that those initial break the ice kind of marks get that page kind of started. You can kind of see that those do kind of shine through in the end if you leave a little area where the paint is thinner or the paint is not the little background showing through a little bit, so it's not complete coverage. And I like that. I like the extra layers that we can see as we look deep down in there. So if you think, why am I adding marks? Is it even going to matter? Yes, it does matter, and you do see those. And so I'm just going to go ahead, just in case, and cover that, because even if I put glue on the burlap, the glue is going to go through to the page below. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that nice and protected. And I think I'm going to also protect the edges here of this page. So let me just grab a few more sheets of this dry wax paper and just cover those edges, and that way we will hopefully not be painting all the edges. I guess I could do it like this because we'll keep the top and bottom clean too, huh? That's okay, not a big deal. Just protecting the edges there. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I got a piece of Hahnemühle watercolor paper. Just going to go ahead, maybe something in the center, and then we'll tear the edges and glue that down. I really like that technique where we have something on one side that we painted, and then you know it's going to come through to the other side. So on the other side, I'd rather do some type of collage, or you know, a whole piece that we just mostly cover the burlap. I like that technique in this book, and I'm going to kind of stick with that. So kind of want this to be similar, but at the same time maybe a little different. So I'm going to go ahead and do some mark making, and you know, where I started with the dark over here, maybe I'll, you know, just do a different order of the colors and see what it is that we can make more dominant versus what we did there. And again, just some mark making to dirty up the page. And let's see, so if we started out, we'll pull back out those number 8 Princeton Umbria Filberts and this number 1 Princeton Select Flat Wash, 1 inch, not number 1, 1 inch. And I've put a little bit of clear gesso and white gesso on my painter's palette over here because I liked the way that worked. Mixing a little bit with the paint just kind of makes the paint spread better and mix better, and then you can layer on top of it if you wanted to. Don't think I'm going to use this white. I'm going to use the gesso white. Let me get these little paints open. We've got the brown, which I don't want to dump on everything, so let's just hope I don't. Maybe get the brush wet. I think I'm going to start with this gray. I don't remember what I started with before. It's kind of weird, but a lot of times I'll just have like a mind blank when I look at something and think, how did I even do that? Where did I even start? I don't even know how I did that. And I like mishing stuff around with my silicone bowl scraper, so I think on large abstract art that's just going to be something that I like to do and enjoy. So just gonna be my technique. All right, let's do some of this blue. Ooh, I love this blue. I have a sofa this color, and since it is the second sofa that I've had in probably the last, let's say, 15 or more years. It's safe to say this is probably one of my very favorite colors. And that is the Blick Matte Materials Sage Blue. I mean, doesn't the color even make you love it? So I'm just going to just squish that color around and get it really in there. And I don't worry about paint sitting on this silicone scraper, because you could just soak that in water, and if you get too much stuck on there, and it'll just come right off. If you get it while it's wet, it comes off even easier, but it just comes right off. All right, let's do this yummy orange. We'll grab the other brush. I need that neck to be just a tiny bit wider so I can really get the brush in there. And just kind of, I just love it. All right, let's grab this pinky one. I'm gonna double fist it here. Paintbrush in one hand, scraper in the other. Ooh, I like that. Let's do that. It's fun. Okay, I like that. Okay, so let's throw those in the water. Maybe I'll pick up this other brush for some brown, or we could mark make in brown. Let's just go ahead and do it. Rawr. This will be our little extra of the dark, like the contrast. Mix it with a little bit of gesso to really make it spread. It almost makes it like a, a little bit of a glaze when we do that. We might just twist our brush around as we're painting just to get some different marks and things that are just a little less controllable. And I could do some white in there, which I'm kind of feeling. What if we put some white here on the scraper and just kind of get some white in here? Ooh, I like that texture. I like that texture right there. Can we get more of that texture, please? Ooh, we did right there. Got more right there. And the paint's still wet. We could do this after it's dry if we wanted to, but I'm kind of liking this. Get a little bit here while it's wet, and it almost layers into it. I like that. I like it. I like it. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, I'm liking where this went. I kind of feel like, because this is that watercolor paper, that we can get really good texture if we dig into it a little bit. Not dig too hard, but I don't know, the paper creases a little bit, and it just, well, this is with the paint that's wet that it's working best, but I do like that bit of scrape through. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Already having fun today. Whoa. Now we need to paint this one. And I'm kind of thinking, what do we want to do? I'm thinking we did kind of like maybe like a heavy, because keep in mind I'm going to tear it too, so let's just be brave and just go for it. We did very little brown on this one side, so now I'm thinking, what if we do a whole lot of brown on this side? And then what if I take this and help that around? I like it how it just smooths out all the brush strokes. Like, that was, I like it. It just, then you just don't see it. Just, I like how it does that. Okay, I like that. Also kind of thinking with my pencil, before I add any other color on here, maybe I'll go through with some mark making, just moving the paint around and making maybe a few marks, but not really, kind of thing. Liked how those circles showed through on that other piece, so maybe a few of those. Okay, I'm liking that. Good, good, good. I do like also this gray. And I'm just going to pull a random brush. It doesn't matter what brush it is. I just want to get the paint over here and spread it with my spreader. And I'm not worried about getting it on the burlap or getting it on the underneath, because I've got some deli paper down there. So I'm just kind of being careful, but at the same time not overly worried about where everything is sitting. I just don't want to get it on this side because I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's see. Maybe, do we want the blue or do we want this one to be like touches of this? I really like this orange. Let's get some paint of the orange. Get some of this on here maybe. Let's just see if we spread that some. Ooh, I like that. Maybe a tiny bit of the white, so I'm going to dip that in that gesso. And then, you know what, we're going to have to let that dry so I can trim these edges. Ooh, I feel like I'm there. Oh my goodness, look at that. Let's throw all the paint brushes in the water. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry for a moment, and then I'm going to deckle these edges and we'll glue this down. So I will be right back. All right, I think we're dry. I said that just a moment ago and we weren't, but I think we're dry enough on the edges, so we'll see. So I'm going to use my dual edge ripper, which is my rip ruler that I like, and I'm going to use this edge that's a little bit less dramatic, and just see if I go ahead and, these are easy to use, and you can do it. You can do this with a metal ruler too. You just kind of tear up towards the ruler, and then voila, we got a beautiful edge. Then I was kind of sitting here thinking, like, what if we tear it in strips, not just the one piece? But I may abandon that idea, but I was just kind of thinking in my mind. And you want to have enough here to grab, because I've done them before where I did not have enough to grab, and it's super frustrating. So you definitely want to leave yourself enough of an edge to grab, and then you see how easy that is just to tear it. Well, now that I've tore it, I love it in one piece. I was thinking, what if we did long strips? So I'll throw that out there, the idea out there for you. If that sounded interesting, but I like it is. And we're just gonna grab the Yes paste. That is what I like. This is a very heavy paste. And glue gets on the edges and then it glues itself shut. So if you have a lid, a jar opener or something like that, that's the easiest way to get this back open once it glues itself shut on you. But that opened up pretty easily. Okay, so I'm actually liking the way that looks framed out in the burlap, so we're gonna ride that wave. We're just going, the reason I like this on thick paper rather than something like matte medium, because matte medium is very thin and liquidy compared to this stuff. You know, that stuff's good on thin paper, like tissue papers that you're gluing down on a collage and stuff like that. This stuff is good for thicker paper, watercolor papers, weird surfaces like this burlap. So that's why I go straight for this. In this book, it's my very favorite glue. I just love it. Can you use other stuff? Yeah, you know, go for it. People always send me, can I use this instead? Or can I use that instead? Yes. Try things out. Experiment. Give it a go. You're never going to know until you try it. And I just don't even worry. Is it going to work? I don't know. Let's try it out. I just jump into things because it's the easiest way to learn what your materials will and won't do. If you did this first with matte medium and you thought, that didn't work very well, then you learn that lesson rather than just hearing someone say it one time and then next year forgetting it. You learn the lesson when you do something and you're like, oh, that's how it does, or that didn't quite work for me the way I thought, or whatever. Doing is how you really learn those lessons. Okay, I think I like that right there. Ooh, look at that. Let's wipe all the glue off of our knife. Throw that in the water just to make sure. But I think I'm there. Look at that. Oh, what a good painting day today. Okay, so I kind of want to see what it looks like. I'm going to move these for a moment, but let's see the whole thing together. So I was definitely smoother over here and a little choppier, more pattern over here, but it's a fun contrast as we flip our page. And then I like how this outlines like a double matte almost. It outlines the burlap and the burlap outlines the painting, so I love that. And it does the same cool effect when I do this. You have an outline around the burlap piece. So I would say might be one of my very favorite spreads. I don't know though, every time I flip this I think, no, this is my favorite, or no, this is my favorite. No, maybe this is my favorite. And so you can see maybe this is my favorite. You can see how exciting it gets. You know, the first layout to me is kind of the hardest. It's just getting in the book and going, okay, I'm scared. Where are we going to go? And then getting frustrated if you're like, I don't know if that's where we were meant to go. And then the more you do, the more exciting it gets. And this book is getting very exciting. Like, I love where we are going in this book. So yeah, I need to go back and paint this page. Look at that. I missed one in the center there. So you can see how exciting now our book is getting as we turn these pages and continue to paint our big abstracts. I'm thrilled. So I hope you enjoyed painting and finishing out this layout today, and I'll see you next time.